name is Cynthia, and I'm Matt's mom. And I'm here today to hopefully get a message across to anyone who's listening or watching this, that spinal cord injury is a very devastating, catastrophic injury that not only affects the individual who it happens to, but also to the immediate family as well as the extended family and friends.
What is the biggest misconception about spinal cord injuries?
People think that it's either you're just paralyzed from the waist or the neck, and they think that you just can't walk, basically. And there's so much more to it than that.
My son, who's a quadriplegic, doesn't have his hand function. It affects because of the level of his injuries.
People think I'm often a paraplegic.
C6,
I can move my
C7,
arms
which is
around.
cervical.
That's not the case. I still have hand function trouble, and tricep function and stuff is very weak for me. I'm luckily the lowest injury of cervical injuries that you could have, so I'm lucky to have that kind of function.
And now, what does recovery mean for you? I know it's different for everybody else. What would your ideal recovery be?
Well, ideal would be back to normal, but just anything that helps people function throughout the day. People get their hand function back, it's hard for people to cough, so people get a lot of pulmonary and lung issues, circulation issues, being able to just stand, just do things to have self-wellness again.
So is it fair to say, as harsh as it sounds, one of the biggest issues facing the spinal cord community is that for a lot of folks, it's out of sight, out of mind, and they just don't live with it every day, so they don't fully understand.
That's a perfect way to put it, Matt, because that's exactly how it is. If it doesn't affect you either indirectly through someone you know who has a spinal cord injury, or a friend of a friend, a relative, it's something the average person doesn't even think about. I could never imagine something like this happening to my family. No, most people don't want to imagine it. Most people, say, that can't really happen. But the reality is, and the fact is, actually, statistics are that every 41 minutes someone sustains a spinal cord injury. And it could be in the freakish way, or very innocent way, at the beach, diving into a pool, whatever it is, flipping over. It can happen to anyone in an instant like that. Your life has changed, And the sad thing is that although there's so many dedicated scientists and doctors out there trying to find a cure, trying to find therapies that are going to make a difference and change the quality of life for someone with a spinal cord injury, it's not enough, because they can only be sustained through, awareness and support and funds. The money's got to come from somewhere. That's the bottom line. And stem cell research now can benefit. It's happening, but it's not happening specifically for spinal cord injury to the extent that it should. Clinical trials should be conducted in the United States, and the reason they're not is because it's too expensive to be conducted in the States. That's the reality of the situation. Progress is definitely happening. There is stuff happening with the current trials. They're seeing the axons growing, and you only need 10% of your spinal cord to walk. Most people to function. Most people don't know that. Only 10% of your spinal cord. How do I know this? Because my family, we attend the lectures, the open house lectures at Rutgers Keck Center the first Friday of every month.
Now, you mentioned part of the treatment is an injection right at the site of the injury. Is this a one-time thing, or is this once a week? Is this every day for the rest of your life if you're receiving this treatment?
It's a one type shot above and below the injury site, and because the stem cells, the umbilical cord blood stem cells, tend to stay where they are. All right, they don't migrate around. So by injecting them above and below the injury site, the idea is to, these cells will proliferate and create a bridge, and they'll grow axons, white matter, down to the injury site and up to the spinal cord. Okay, they use a diffuser tensor MRI, which gives color, so you're able to see the growth there. And it's promising, you know, but to bring these trials to the United States is very expensive, all right? So we're looking to help bridge the spinal cord community to the general public just to get the awareness going.
Let's say tomorrow there's a cure. What's the first thing you guys do? What's the reaction? What's the
Tell the world.
Tears of happiness.
Yeah, tears of joy, and
I could almost
you know,
cry just thinking about that possibility or that being the case. And I am going to cry.
well, just to be able to do things that you know, what's in the past is in the past, but be able to do things that we were able to do.
I don't know if I've said this to you, Matt, but I just want to live long enough to see my son walk again. You know, and I'm sure that I am speaking for anyone out there who is in our situation.
I wanted to ask a little bit more about the rehab process. You off camera, Carlos, you had described it as Olympic training. I mean, that's a pretty powerful image to think of. You know, the Michael Phelps of the world, and you know, and imagine what they must go through. And it's essentially a very similar sort of level of work.
Absolutely.
Physically demanding, mentally demanding. You know, Matt's very strong. He's a very strong person. And that's how he has the ability to inspire people. I mean, he's inspiring me, and we're actually teaming up now.
Is the biggest hurdle to this that people just sometimes think that there's a finality to this injury, that it's just, oh, you can't walk again, you can't do this again, and that's it, and it's sort of written off as like
Absolutely.
It happened and there's no changing it. Is that a big hurdle?
Life happens, and all of a sudden it goes to the back of our minds, it may go out of our view, and then the reality is that it's not changing. So if we could bring this to the attention of people, then perhaps there'll be a change sooner, because the cure is on its way. We believe it. We've seen enough to know it's coming. We just want it to come sooner, and we want to be a part of helping it.
Well, now another part of what you guys are doing are T-shirts, and I love the idea of this. It's athletes and folks with spinal cord injuries making imprints on T-shirts.
Matt is going to be pushed by one of the celebrities, and they'll walk together over the shirts, leaving treads imprinted on the shirts and footprints of the celebrity sneakers, bare feet, maybe shoes, whatever they like to wear. And it's going to make a pattern on the shirt that will symbolize to us spinal cord awareness and support.
You know, bottom line, simplest terms, what do you guys need? What are you know, what can folks do right now?
We need to make a change in the way spinal cord injury is viewed, and we need to make an actual physical change for the world to see.
And we're going to do that with our t-shirt fundraiser funnel, and we need help to make that happen to the scale we want it to happen. We want it to be a national movement. We need help with reaching out to celebrities and anybody who's really interested in making this happen. And we're going to go above and beyond with it, and we're not stopping. And I see a good future, and Matt inspires me, and I'm waiting for him to inspire the rest of the world. It's just a matter of time, and it's happening already. I could say this is part of it.
You're inspiring me. Thank you, Carlos.